Hey, beautiful artists. So something kind of fun came up over the weekend. Ray had the idea because he goes out every morning and he waters and he just works with all our plants in my garden to make sure everything's always looking beautiful. And he said, what if I brought you a surprise flower every morning and you painted it for 7 days? And I was like, that could be fun because we've been going through all of our flowers out there in the garden and everything's blooming beautifully right now. So he's out there right now. I think he's coming in and he's bringing me my first flower that I'm going to paint. I don't know what it is. He's going to surprise me. So,
Oops.
Oh, there he is. So, oh, that's a good one. That one's pretty. That's going to be fun.
These are called Tickseeds.
All right. That's your choice today. Okay. Well, that's what we're going to be painting. So let's go ahead and get started. Thank you. All right. So what a fun little flower. I talk about when I paint a flower, I like to kind of pick out what is identifiable about this flower. And what I'm noticing is these sharp edges. So to get that, even in the center, and then we've got little tiny yellow dots in the middle. What I'm going to do, and by the way, very few leaves. The few leaves that are on here are kind of long and thin and narrow. But really, the most identifiable thing to me is those petals that are kind of sharp. So the first thing that came to mind, and this is where, you know, it's not even so much about skill and such. It's like seeing a flower and saying, I think I know how I'm going to approach that. So how I'm going to approach that is using this beautiful little dagger brush, angle brush, not dagger, angle. And let me show you the difference between a dagger. A dagger is quite a bit longer. So an angle brush is typically shorter and it's got that beautiful angle. What's fun about it is it's got a really nice edge on it that I'll be able to get some of these little jagged edges. So that's what I'm going to use. And then let's get some paint in here. So it looks to me like a cad orange. I'm going to put a little bit of that in my palette here. Get some water. And I'm using a small sheet of Meeden. I've been trying to branch out with some different colors lately because I've had just a bit of a problem getting some of my supplies. So I switched to using Meeden just because I want some options. Okay, let's see. That's pretty close. I almost feel like I could use some of that more orangey color as well, which I think, so I've got cad yellow here. This is more of a cad orange, and I want to use maybe just a combination of both of those. And then for the center, I'm going to use like a madder red or a deep magenta. So let's grab some of that. I've got my wash and my rinse water here, my paper towel. Oh, and I'm using my Light Wish palette. Again, I've been trying to find some different supplies for you guys as well. The Artisto is fabulous, but I know in other countries it's really difficult and a little bit expensive. So the Meeden's been great, you guys, and it's 100% cotton. But look at this fun palette. I'm going to give these a little spray here, just to loosen them up, to activate them. And it's a great little palette, very reasonable. Paul Rubens, which you know I love, love, love Paul Rubens. Okay. So let's see, what was I working on? Oh, that red color. Let's go for like a deep magenta. So let me see what this color is here. Ooh, that's a beautiful color. I like that. So I think that'll be the red I use in the center. And then of course, you know, for your stems, my go-to green is always like a hooker's green, tree green, something like that. So I'm going to get some of that in my palette here. And, you know, use the green you like. I always really encourage, like, make these, if you pick a yellow flower and you want it to be purple, make it purple. Like, do you. Take creative license to paint your flowers however you want to paint them. All right, so there we go. We're going to keep this pretty simple. I'm going to go in first. So I have two ways I could approach this. I could either go into the center and start with that deep red color like you see here in the center, and then go out from that with the yellow, or come in with the yellow. Let's do that. So I'm going to start in the center here and create. Ooh, yeah, see that? Isn't that a pretty red? Gorgeous, right? And I thought, oh my gosh, this brush is perfect because it can get those really nice edges. And that to me is what I notice about these flowers. They've got a lot of spiky edges. So watch this. I'm going to rinse and wash my brush really well because you don't want to carry that red over into your yellow. I'm going to pick up some of that yellow, tap, 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 get some of that extra. And now I'm going to go in and let's see what this does. I didn't practice this first. That's part of this challenge. And ooh, see, I love that. I want to make sure I don't have that red on my brush. Oh my gosh, I really like this. There we go. Yeah, I think that's kind of cool. I'm going to rinse my brush again, pick up some more, tap, tap, tap. I want to make sure I don't have too much of the water on my brush. And I can even, you can use this brush on its side to kind of pull out those feathers. That's funny. The little petals. There we go. So that's one version. Now let's try going the opposite. So let's try some of that yellow to start with. And this is the fun of playing with these. And I'm going to do more of a wiggle with this brush. And you tell me some ways you might have found to paint this. So wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. I've got it on its side. Now that is going to give not quite a spiky look. It's a little bit more rounded. And then let's go into the center. I'm going to let that dry actually a minute. The other great use for this angle brush is because of that chisel edge is so nice. We can get that beautiful stem with that nice chisel edge. And watch this, so great for leaves. Chisel edge, then bringing it a little to the side and back up on the edge. Isn't that fun? Push down, press, and up. Point, press, and up. See that? So fun, right? So I'm letting that dry a bit. And then I want to make sure I get that yellow center area. So what I might do this time is let's try a different brush. Let's try our 8 rounds, see what we get with that. I'm going to go in, mix a little bit more of that yellow, and see what we get using one of these brushes. So I'm just pressing and lifting. Like that. And I'm making sure, I'm trying on this one to leave a little bit more white space in the center. So I can go in there, wash, rinse my brush, tap it off. I'm going to pick up a little bit of that red. And let's start this one. Just light pressure. So we've got a couple different ways to paint this. But what's fun is, experiment. See how you like to do it. Once that dries, I'll go in the center and add the little yellow dots. So maybe that one, for me, the edges are just a little bit scratchy, I guess. I don't know what other word to call it. But I think I prefer a little smoother edge like this one. And then let's use this brush for our stem. So point, press, opening up that belly. Same type of shape. Point, press, point, press, point, press. Oop, got a little overzealous there. And then once that dries, let's see if that's dry yet. We can go into the center. Even if it's not quite dry, if I use my paint a little thicker, tap, 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 tap off that excess, I can go in here a bit with the red, because the thicker the paint is, the less water I put on there, the less it's going to spread. And then I'm trying to leave room in there in the center for my little yellow dots. So let's grab some of that yellow. Again, I'm going to use it a little thicker. So probably 80% pigment, 20% water, but I'm still tapping off because I don't want too much in there. The more paint and more water, it's going to spread. So let's go in and just dot, 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 leaving some white space. And there you go. I don't even think I'm going to mess with this one. Maybe a couple tiny dots in the center. So there's a couple different ways. Let's see. Let's play with this one a bit and make it a little bigger. I don't know if this will work or not, you guys, but I thought let's play with it. Something like that. And you know what I found is when I just allow myself to kind of play, that's when I really discover some fun things. Like that. So there's something a little bit different. And that's what this is all about, playing, having fun with your paints. We could go in here and just add a little bit. And you know what? Sometimes it doesn't work out and you do it and you go, oh, didn't really like that. But that's the whole point of playing and creating as an artist, is finding your colors, finding your style. So there's that. We could really get some long, because these do have some long. Let's do one more right here. So here's another version of it. There we go. All kind of similar, but yet different. Going into the center. And now I think what I'll even actually do, let's dry that a bit so we can get a little bit crisper lines. There you go. Set that down. So the whole key here is I wanted to show you some different ways to paint these, because that's really part of the fun for me, is finding, different brush strokes, different things we can do. Let's go in there. And let me see. I feel like I want a little deeper red. Let's see what this is. Oh, that's pretty. So I'm going to go in. And then I'm leaving room in this one to add in the yellow in the middle. So let's pick up some of that yellow and make those dots. I might even get a little thicker mixture. Just like that. All right, everybody. Oh, I guess I should add in the stem for that one. So using, again, the chisel edge, so wonderful for this type of thing. And the last thing I might want to do here is just create some darker values. So this is a darker value, point, press. Oh, look at that beautiful chisel edge. Point, press, and lift up. So you've got some different values there. Point, press. All right, I think I'm about done. There you go, everybody. I hope that was fun. Can't wait. Thank you, Ray, for helping out there and having that idea. That'll be kind of fun. And these are called, now I forgot what I call them. But look at how fun those are. This one even has some yellow extra petals on the middle. All right, I will see you all soon. I hope that's fun and you give it a try. Experiment with different ways to paint things. See what you like best. And I'll be right here reminding you, you are an artist. Take creative license. Paint things in your colors, in your way, in your style. And I will see you all soon. All right.